Hello, boys and girls. It's Grumpy Granny from Grogy's Patch, and I've come along today to read you a lovely story. And the story I'm going to read to you is my favourite children's book called Where the Wild Things Are, with story and pictures by Marie Sendak. I really hope you'll enjoy it and that you'll come back again to hear another story that I'm going to read next time. Where the Wild Things Are, story and pictures by Marie Sendak, published by HarperCollins. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, his mother called him "Wild Thing," and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines, and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day, and in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws, till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye, and sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day, and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. And that's the end, boys and girls. Well, hello, boys and girls. How are we all tonight? Friday night. Yay! Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. And who do we have in the chat tonight? We have Rob first again. Excellent. He's here for the TVSN Cutlery Show, which hasn't quite arrived yet. And we have Sandra Blondie, who loves it. Octo says, "I know she's back again." Yes, I am indeed. And I do have to say one thing right now. So, today when I went down to the mail to do my mail, I got a notification from Big Emergency to say that there is going to be big flooding. Well, there is a chance of big flooding in this area. I'm not quite sure. I haven't got that far to read when it's going to start, but, must be over the next few days. It was said it was an early warning, so I'm going to guess around Monday. But I could have already told them that we're going to get stacks of rain because I have got friggin' little ants everywhere. You know those tiny little black ones? They all come inside when we're going to have a big flood. And they just seem to appear from everywhere. And I've found them all over the place. So I could have actually told them I've got my own early warning system. G'day, Jen. Good evening. Good to have you in. Kevin, good to have you in too. And we have Peachy in as well. Yes, it is all happening in Donald. Well, it might not all be happening next week because, it's kind of a bit eerie. It's kind of reminding me a little bit of, 2011, which wasn't a good year as far as flood goes. And I had no power for 5 days. Yes, Kevin, that is why you're getting ants all up your kitchen. Yep, that is it indeed. They all come inside when there's going to be a big rain. And, yes, that is going to be the issue. So, as I said, I haven't actually checked to see how much rain we're going to get. But the fact that we're getting a flood warning this early for a few days' time is a little bit of a concern. So I'm going to, when I finish tonight, I'm going to make sure all my rechargeable batteries are plugged in. Unfortunately, one of mine has died, and I was going to buy a new one but haven't been anywhere to buy one. So I'm hoping, that if we do lose power, it won't be gone for too long. And I've got 3 power banks that I've got charged up already. So I've just got to recharge my big batteries up. Oh, I don't have the battery here, but I have like the Octo power tools that sit on the big iron batteries, and these are the lights. I've got 2 of these, so they just plug on, and they're really good. They give heaps of light. I mean, I generally only need the one, but it's good if you've got more than one person in your house. I bought a second light when I still had Mum living with me because, if I wanted to go to the toilet or something when the power went out and you took the light with you and then left her in the dark, it wasn't great. So I bought a second one. And I've also got one of these that plugs in that's got a couple of USB chargers in it, so I'll be able to keep my phone going, hopefully. So, yes, ants are jerks. I hate ants. Drives me nuts. They drive me nuts. Anthony, good evening. How are you? Kids driven you insane after for the school holidays yet? Peachy says, Christian says hi. He is in Yarrambat tonight, the poor soul. Oh, don't know about poor soul. He seems to think that he won't have to worry about any background noise tonight. He did say. Paul, how are you? Happy Friday all, says Paul. Yes, indeed, it is Happy Friday, and it is cheers to that. It is, I tell you what, it is hella muggy here. So I'm kind of figuring the heavier rains might not arrive for a couple of days, but there's a lot of rain in the air because the humidity is killing me, I tell you. So yeah, I spent a fair bit of today with my rollers and my beanie on today because I was doing a bit of recording, and it wasn't pleasant by the end of it, I can tell you. G'day, Graham. Jen says, how do you manage post, etc. deadlines when in a flood? Do you contact eBay? Yeah, look, if it gets bad like it was back then, I mean, I haven't had to deal with a situation like that since then because I wasn't doing eBay back when that happened. But I believe when there's flood issues and everything and you contact them, that they will actually not give you dings for late postage. I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know, because if it's bad enough that, like last time, the post office did close for a day because we were actually, so where we are, there's not a lot of houses that are likely to get flooded here. But we can actually get all the major highways that come into town can get cut off, which means the mail truck can't get through. And I'm going to have to just fix my lipstick because it looks crooked. And I can't stand looking at myself when it looks crooked. Oh, that's better. I don't know that it's, I think it may be the way the light's shining on it makes that side look smaller than that side, you know, but anyway. But yeah, so if it happens, I'll be contacting eBay, pretty quick smart, and letting them know, and we'll see from there. So it'll depend on, as I said, whether it's all about, so that there's a lot of flooding could occur around the Avoca area, which cuts off the mail truck coming through from Ballarat. And then little insects flying around now. Oh, more signs of rain. So it'll all depend on that. Octo says, ants are good for annoying old ladies. They are indeed very good for annoying old ladies. They just, give me the creeps. Not to mention the fact that you put the cat food down for the poor cat, and then you come back up in 5 minutes' time and the cat's walked off because it doesn't want to eat its food because suddenly it's been inundated with ants. So tomorrow I will be getting a shallow dish and sitting the cat food tray in the dish with some water in the bottom of it. And that seems to fix that little problem. So Graham says to Anthony, hey, how's the babysitting? LOL. Not babysitting, it's called parenting. Dave, Recommerce Dave, how are you? Evening, GG and everyone. Good to have you in. Caven says, yeah, the humidity is nuts too. I'm in the mountains. The air is so thick with water, I feel like I'm drinking it. Oh, absolutely. Look, I had to change my shirt for the live stream because the one I had on wasn't live stream appropriate unless I was doing an OnlyFans show. I can tell you that much. It's not that bad. It's just very low cleavage. But, yeah, it's a nice light cheesecloth cotton and, really good. But I thought I'd better hop out of that for you guys. You wouldn't want to see me in that. Anthony says, we went to the outdoor pool today. They all just came back alive. Oh, good. Well, going to the pool is a great idea because it wears them out and then they sleep and go to bed early, which is really good. Really, really good. So for those of you that were here early and missed and caught the intro, I just thought I'd have a bit of fun with that. So that's my first video that I've uploaded on my new channel, which is Grumpy Granny Reads, and where I'm going to be reading stories to children of all ages, boys and girls of all ages. So that one's sort of like the toddler one. I had planned to get another one done today, but, yeah, it just didn't map out with the way things went. But, yeah, I'd like to try and start getting a few up on there because I want to do some for the various ages. So it's not just toddler books. And I particularly want to concentrate on doing a bit of Australian content, I thought, because, look, Where the Wild Things Are is probably one of the more popular books that is on YouTube currently as a read aloud book. But look, I had to do it first because it is my absolute all-time favourite kids book. And the book that I was reading is actually the book that I read to my children when they were growing up. It's not one that I'm going to sell for two reasons. Condition's not fantastic because, we used it a lot. And I also read it to my grandkids. So, yeah, it's staying in the house. But, it's nice. Yeah, if you happen to get a hardcover first edition of Where the Wild Things Are, you will be rolling in money. Graham says, come to Brisbane for humidity. Yeah, look, I went to Brisbane. My daughter is now 27. 27. Yeah, so 25 years ago, because we were up there for her second birthday and in September. And, yeah. I mean, you got used to it. You sort of got a bit acclimatised to it when you're in it all day. I made a cake. Oh, did you? What sort of cake was it? By the look of that, I made a cake. It was a, what is it? Red velvet. I love red velvet cake. Hi, Granny. Pretty muggy here in Sydney. Today has been, at least been cooler. Stay safe. Thank you. Yeah, today's been hot. I've still got the air conditioner on. And my desk is right under the air conditioner. Well, look, when I say right under, just a little bit to the left. to the right, actually. Just a little bit that way is the air vent for the air conditioner. And normally by this time, I've turned it off or I've turned it right down on low, because it does get a bit chilly when you're sort of sitting directly under it all day. But it's still going, and it is 9:45 at night. So that says something, doesn't it? So I'm not quite sure how hot it did get here, but yeah, hot, bloody hot. Graham says, your new channel, no good, can't leave comments. Yeah, exactly. There is a reason for that, and that is because it needs to be a kid-friendly channel, and so therefore when you make a video that's specifically for kids, they do not allow you to leave comments. However, I'm sure when I read a grown-up book, it will be available for comments, Graham, so you won't miss out entirely, and you'll actually be able to, tell me whether you think I can do a good job at reading books or not. So, yeah. But, yeah, I kind of want to do, some Australian books and some of my old vintage books that are lying around the house. I have one or two, actually. I have a couple of vintage books, even some antique books that I thought might be quite good for that sort of thing. And Sandra Blondie says, hi, I made a cake. I'm in Wollongong. I could read that the other way. Hi, I made a cake and I'm in Wollongong. All sorts of ways. So what else has been happening, boys and girls? How have all your sales been this week? I have to say, eBay's been okay, steady, I'm going to say. Not brilliant. I did get two international sales. I got two international sales last night, one for Germany and one for the US. However, neither of those have been paid for just yet. So hopefully, I've sent them the invoice, including the postage, this morning when I got up. Hopefully tonight they will pay for them and I'll be able to send those off on Monday if I can get to the post office in my little canoe. And, so that'll be good. But I do have to say Depop's been really good for me the last week and has really, it's sort of kind of like bolstered, made up for those lack of sales on eBay. Anthony says, I handed the babysitting back to the wife. Yes. No comment, Anthony. No comment. Sandra says, LOL, my cakes turn out terrible. So you won't be making me a red velvet cake. Catherine says, I got a sale from Germany last night. They paid that. Oh, very good. So, yeah, it's kind of funny because I find that I'll go some time without getting any international sales. And then to me, it's like they turn the international tap on and suddenly international people can actually see your listings and you get, several international sales all in a row. So, yeah. So one of mine is the Wiggles. I think it's Wiggly Wiggly Christmas VHS. And I think that's the one that's going to the US. And the other one is a 1960s, late 60s, maybe early 70s vinyl record. That's, I think it's like show tunes or like tunes from movies. I think that's what it is. It's theme songs from the current hit movies of the time is what it is. Graham says, Anthony, I enjoy spending time with my son. Very nice. And Rob says, I had a nice sail to Singapore. Oh, very good. Well, see, the international tap was turned on. I made a cake says, I've always been a small seller, very niche. I do sell international, but I've certainly noticed a steep drop off this year. Refer to Josh Galt. Love Josh Galt. He's my favouriteest. I like him. Yes, I think he's really good business brain, and I like watching him and John on the eBay Power Hour because they really bounce off really well to each other, and it's great to it's really good when they put out something new. There was a new one there, and I'm not an overly big fan of shorts, like especially some of them. But anyway, I watch them. Vaya Playing Shop says, hi, yes, I've just had a smattering of internationals, including a $75 puzzle. Ooh, very good. That is good stuff. Oh, you had that talking, was it you that had the talking puzzle or something like that? Was it talking puzzle? Anthony said, I lost on getting the negative removed. Oh, but I did leave the buyer a nice rebuttal for sales day. Very good. Excellent. Well, obviously, so far it hasn't damaged you too much. Mind you, Octo's shorts at the moment, I don't know whether any of you've seen them, but worth watching because he's doing a great job. And for someone that doesn't edit, oh, hell, he's doing an amazing job, really. Peachy says, 2024 goal is to put on international sales, do Depop and get Oz Post business. Peachy, what are you doing, man? For an educated man, there are three, well, look, not necessarily the Depop thing, but international sales and AusPost business. Why in the hell haven't you already got those set up? Honestly, you could have already been getting all those discounts through AusPost. And some of the stuff that you sell, like you do really well, possibly with international sales. Go watch Gigi's video on how to do international sales. I did notice in one of the eBay groups on Facebook today, someone posted wanting to know they had a store, but they hadn't been looking after it. And then they were going to start getting back into it and wanted to know how the coupons, were they any good? And was she going to miss out on anything if she didn't turn international sales on? And I'm like, yes, you will, but then I don't know what you sell, so I can't really tell for sure. Liz says, evening all, just got back from taking my 4-legged babies for a walk. One rather naughty wolfhound who nearly tried pulling my arm out of its socket. Our fault, not walking enough, been too hot lately. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, when you've got big animals that, you know, they need to expend that energy. But, yeah, when it's so hot, like taking them for a walk, you can nearly ride the wolfhound. Octo says, don't get me started on shorts. He's been having a bit of a time today. But anyway, he got it done in the end. Is it up yet, Octo, the new one for today? Because, you know, I'd hate you to miss your little run of getting one up every day. Anthony says, I enjoy spending one-on-one time with my boys too, just not all 4 at once. I love it. Oh, look, I know. And you know what? So I had 3 kids, as some of you might know. And I mean, even when they were little, like even with the 3, if one of them went to stay at the grandparents or at a cousin's or at a mate's house, it's amazing the difference. Like, take one out of the equation and everything changes. But, yeah, one-on-one time's great. And if you can do it, I reckon as a parent, if you can actually do, you know, make time to spend one-on-one time with your kids. It was something my kids missed out on a bit because being a single parent, which I pretty much was from when my daughter was 4. Well, not pretty much. I was a single parent from when my daughter was 4. It was hard because you didn't get to actually have that one-on-one time with them because there was no one else to leave them with or hand them off to. Rob says, I prefer shorts too. Pants are too warm. Very funny. You're a funny fellow. Vaya says, yep, the talking jigsaw puzzle. Yep, solution not revealed until you solve the clues. Seems sought after. Very good. That's great. Excellent. Good on you for taking the time to go through it and check it all out. Peachy says, yeah, with work, didn't want to be too busy with eBay. Will be a big year in 2024. Watch Gigi's international video. Very good. Very good. Yep. Oh, I just think, especially if you've got sort of unique items and sporting stuff in particular, and, you know, like your figurines and those sorts of things, I think you're missing a big market. Because it seems to me that it's the international market is where the collectors are for a lot of that stuff. And that's where you want to get to. Vaya says, gross and humid today, too hot in the garage where my stock is. Yeah, I'm feeling you. It was too hot everywhere today. Because I actually didn't realise because I'd left the air conditioner stayed on overnight, not with the water going through it, just the fan part. I left it on last night. So the house wasn't too bad this morning when I got up. And then on my way past into the office this morning, I turned the water back on so that it would stay cool. Because being a warm night, I knew it was going to be a warm day, and I hadn't checked what the temperature was going to be. And then, it wasn't until I went outside to do my post. A friend came to pick me up to take me down to the post office because my car isn't running. And, nearly had a fit. So, I do feel sorry for anyone that's had to work somewhere like that, because even my photography room, the air conditioner doesn't get in there all that well, because it was in a, like on the old houses that had a veranda going all around them. So back in the day, they used to close the veranda in and make us what they called a sleep out. When they had lots of kids and didn't have enough bedrooms, they would close the veranda in, and we always called them a sleep out. So there's actually French doors between my room and the photography room. Octo's new one is up. His new short is up. Very good. Very good. Everyone go over and watch it. Octo says, only doing 5 a week, threw a tantrum. Yeah, you did. You did throw a tantrum. It's one of your computers still in one piece, actually. Well, I guess 5's pretty good. You got past 3, which I thought was impressive. Anthony says, Oliver isn't worn out enough from today. Wide awake, snuggled up with Dad, watching his GG. Hi, Oliver. How are you, darling? You having a cuddle with Dad? That is really nice. I hope you had a good time at the pool today. I would like to have gone swimming in the pool today. That would have been good. Would have cooled me off. Hello, Sandra. How are you? Are you working tonight, Sandra, my dear, or are you going to be around tonight? Octo says, pulling in about 15 views for each short. He is not. His shorts are killing it. Like, he's doing our version of going viral. It might not be, look, there's obviously videos that have got a lot more views, but for the size of our channels and the amount of subscribers, etc., he's doing well. One of them's had nearly 1,700 views. So, each day that should get a little bit better, I think. You've got to keep the mystique going. And I have to remember to drink tonight, because that's the other thing with it being so hot. If you don't drink enough, you get dehydrated. And then you finish up waking up all night. You're up all night with cramps. And we can't be having any of that rot tonight. Sandra's working. Bugger. Never mind. Kerry says, Anthony, you may have Oliver, but I have Ashton watching GG and Mason wide awake. Didn't wear them out today. Oh, boys. Well, hello, Ashton, and hello, Mason. Love you both. Ashton, we will be talking soon. I'll get in contact with Dad perhaps at the end of next week, and we will have a little chat. We'll have to sort out how we can have a little chat, and I might organise with Dad and we can have a FaceTime or something, and we can work out what we're going to do with our duet. How do you reckon about that? I have to sort out what we're going to actually perform yet. I haven't written any new lyrics or anything, so I will have to think. I'll have to put my little hat on and have a think. Caven says, well, now I've learnt that Octo lives on World Domination Avenue. Yeah, thinks he does. Kerry says, Ashton says he loves you too, Gigi. Oh, thank you, darling. Hope you're having fun over the school holidays, which is really good. Always you boys be out there having fun, and you've got to burn up a bit more energy during the day, though, so that you go to sleep early. And eat. I guess you're eating a lot, because my kids used to eat a lot during the school holidays, and it used to drive me nuts. Every 5 minutes, someone was wanting something to eat. Oh, I love my kids to death, but, seriously. Look, and the 2-week holidays, the 2-week-long holidays were fine, but I'll tell you what, by the end of the January school holidays, it was nearly enough. You get to that, and then inevitably, and I mean, this has been going on since I was a kid, inevitably, that first week of school, and it doesn't matter whether that's the first week in February or whether that's the last week in January or whenever it is, there's a heat wave. The minute the kids have got to go back to school, there's a bloody heat wave. So, yeah. Unbelievable. It is. So how's everybody else's? Nobody much has been saying much about their sales. They all quiet and done for, or who else? What is everybody else aspiring to do this year? Well, my first thing this year is to get a car, because mine is dead and we can't be putting any more money into it because it is not worth putting the money into. Liz says, I think it was in Discord I asked about some books. Anyway, I did some serious investigation today and I found a pair that sold for $920. Wow. Although back in 2021. But Liz, here's the thing. So if they sold for a pair sold in 2021 for $920, have there been any listed since then? That's the key, because if there haven't been any listed since then, it may be that they are very rare and sought after, and yeah. So I would be looking at, are there any other listed? I mean, if there are some listed since then and they haven't sold, then obviously you'd sort of have to come in under whatever the listed price is, I'm guessing. But woohoo, so yeah, nice. Nice. Yes, I've got my one book listed that's over $900 at the moment. The going price is over $1,000, but I wanted to come in and try and get a quicker sale, but haven't so far had a quick sale, but it's only been up for a bit over a week. So, but it needs to get those international views is what it needs. Kathan says sales good. Second, Depop, I think that's meant to say. Second Depop sale today. First one left glowing feedback. Excellent. That's what you want. That is what you want. Yeah, look, I've had some pretty good feedback. I mean, some of the questions I get asked on Depop are a bit weird, which we were talking about in the Discord too. Like, is this still available? And like my response is kind of like, I want to say, well, of course it's still available. It's there for sale, isn't it? But that's not how they work. And then interesting. Yeah. But anyway, I'm really glad that I've started listing on Depop because look, it's not hasn't been setting the world on fire, I'm not going to say, but I'm starting to get more consistent sales, which is good. And I've been trying to make sure that I list at least, that I cross list at least 6 new things a day over there. So if I can try and keep that up, I think, and get the store to a decent size on there, it will be good. And so this afternoon, so after I made my little video today for you boys and girls, my little nugget today, I decided that a few of my prices are a little bit high on some of my things. When I really looked at it and I thought, they probably are a little bit high. So I've, in fact, lowered by quite a bit a lot of my women's tops and jeans and denim, men's and women's, all that sort of stuff. So I've done that all on eBay, but that also means that the prices are still up a bit on Depop. So I will do that tomorrow. I will actually go through and edit a few of the prices down to similar to what they are on eBay. And I have lowered all the prices on my VHS. VHS is behaving very strangely. I'm getting lots of views on my VHS, but they're not actually selling. So I don't know what that is, I don't know. Because it's strange that people would click on it if they already have it. So I'm not quite sure why that is, why the views are there. Like they're actually clicking on, it's not just impressions, it's actual views, page views. So I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, is it because the price was that little bit high? Although I had lowered the prices some time ago. And I mean, the prices are, for most of mine at the moment, the prices would be half of what they would have been selling for 6 months ago. So yeah, the prices on VHS have tanked like crazy. Most of the stuff that I've still got left that's unlisted, I probably not even going to bother trying to do them as single VHS. I think I'm just going to bundle most of them. And then if they don't sell in a bundle, I'll have to start doing some bulk lots and maybe get an extra large Ozpost box and see how many I can fit in there. Graham says, Peachy, I think that's meant to be, Google Ozpost business code for 3 months at band 3. Yeah, because apparently there is a code going around where you can get, so once you sign up for it, you can straight away go on to band 3 for 3 months. So yeah, definitely worth a look. Peachy says sales have been low, probably a good thing though, just getting my stuff better sorted and building up draft banks while I'm away. Good. Did you watch my draft bank video that I made the other day? Yesterday? Was it yesterday? Yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. How to do a draft bank from your old listings, not make a draft bank from your new stuff. Because one of the things I found was whenever I talk to people about making a draft bank, the biggest thing that people had against doing a draft bank was they didn't want to put their new listings to have them sit there for 2 weeks. And I get that. I really do. The beauty of making your draft bank this way, which is the way I've shown you in my first nugget from 2024, is that you actually use your old listings to do your draft bank, make the draft bank, and it works. You can do it quick. Make your draft bank out of your old listings, and then your new listings, you're just listing live as you go through. So, yeah. So there's a tip. Watch my nugget from yesterday, which, yeah, I started the series from number 1 again, so it'll be 2024 number 1. But yeah, watch that if you haven't already. Sandra says, sales reflect my work ethic. I'm not going to comment because, yeah, I know that you haven't been listening. So therefore you won't be getting many sales, I'm guessing. Vaya says, sales are steady, given my listing is slow. Bit of a summer break. Yeah, good. And battling some fatigue. Need to get out and photograph a stash. Yeah, look, I'm a bit the same. The photography probably has been slowing me down a little bit. But that being said, I've been spending more time sort of tidying up and, you know, like I did all the jeans the other day. I consolidated all the jeans so that, you know, I had 3 empty boxes by the end so that I didn't have to make new boxes to put more jeans in. The next thing I have to do with the jeans, though, is I wanted to do a stock take because, yeah, I'm sure, because I did accidentally delete when I was doing the end and sell similar store resets there at one stage. I accidentally deleted a few. So I do need to go through everything and see what's been deleted. It's probably one of a pair of really good jeans, you know, that I'm wondering why they haven't sold. They'll be some of the ones that have missed out. But I've had a few pairs of jeans selling, actually. Like, often at this time of the year, it's sort of just your shorts and your capris. But I'm guessing because we've had a little bit of chilly weather, people are still buying jeans, which is good. So, yes, I've got plenty to photograph, I can tell you. Caven said, yes. Yeah, is this still available the other day? I said, yes. And they ghosted me. Oh, I know. Well, I had a pair of Columbia capri, you know, like walking pants. And yeah, they asked me were they still available. And I said yes. And then I thought, oh, I probably should have sent them an offer when I answered them, but I didn't give it a thought. But then I went back and checked and they had actually liked it. So I did send them an offer with a little bit of discount. And yeah, then they came back to me a day later, like 24 hours later, wanting to know could I make sure if they bought them that I would post them today. And I just thought, like, couldn't you have said that to me yesterday? And then it got to sort of like lunchtime, and I was thinking, well, if you don't pay soon, I can't post them today. But anyway, they did pay for them in the end, and I did get them in the mail today, so that was good. So they were very happy. So that hopefully they might give me good feedback, because that's one thing with Depop. You don't get near as much feedback. I mean, we might complain that the rate of feedback on eBay is low compared to how many sales we make, But by hell, it seems to be extra low on Depop. Liz says they seem to be extremely sought after. Found under 5 available, of one of them going for 200 plus and only one of the others for 350 from memory, all from the States or UK, none here in Australia. Excellent stuff. Very good. Get them photographed and up and listed, my girl. Avaya says, I try to drop a couple of bucks in price when I end and sell similar. Yeah, I don't drop a couple of bucks, I suppose. I do 1% every time I do it. And that seems to have worked for quite a few things because I don't want to keep dropping it by a couple of bucks every time. I mean, if I was only doing it once a month or longer, I probably would. But because I'm doing it, like I'm doing sort of around about the 200 or so, like 100, between 180 and 190 sort of each day. So gradually, your store turnover goes through. I think I'm going to say the 28th. So the stuff that I did today started on the 28th. So what's that? 28, 29, 30, 31. What's today? 5. So that's about 8 days. So it's taking me about 8 to 10 days to go through the whole store. So, yeah. I'm Out of Cake says, biggest challenge is finding time to source. Without a car, Granny. Yep. Tell me about it. I haven't owned a car for years. Admittedly easier in Sydney than in country Victoria. Yeah, exactly. Between work and family obligations. Yeah, look, and that's the thing, isn't it? Like, life gets in the way, and sourcing is probably not such of an issue at the moment because I've got a good amount of death pile because I'd like to make sure I've got enough to keep me going in case there is an emergency of some sort. Like if we did get cut off here, I mean, I know that I'm right for a couple of weeks. I wouldn't have to worry about that. I've got enough death pile to last me. But my local op shop actually closes down for a couple of weeks after Christmas. Like they close between Christmas and New Year, and then they close for a couple of weeks after that. So they're not open anyway. So and it's a pain because it's next to the post office, and that's actually because without a car, that's the only place that I could go thrifting if I wanted to at the moment. And, yeah, I had to sit at the front of the post office and wait for my friend to come and collect me yesterday. And I was thinking, if the op shop had been open, I could have been in there scrounging. Octo says, I blame Commonwealth Picker. He doesn't talk about them enough. What? What doesn't he talk about enough, Octo? The ants or what? You better tell me. Liz says, all 8 books from the same game thing from the early 90s are no longer printed. Nice. And you've got 8 of them. Wow. Yeah, and look, if they're game related, yeah, you could be onto some good stuff there. G'day, Wendy. How are you? Good to see you. Lisa, how you going, love? Is it cold where you are? Because it's freaking hot here, I can tell you. Blame Kevin. Yes, blame Kevin. Love you, Octo and Gigi. Look, yeah. Is it snowing over there? Tell me it's snowing because, yeah, it's so hot right now. It is, 10:15 at night and the air conditioner is still going. Lisa does actually manage to make Octo laugh. It's impressive, isn't it? Shane, what you up to? Good morning, beautiful people. It's not morning. It's night time. It is night time. It is Friday Night Live. Hey, Lisa, good to see you again, says Octo, and he even says hello to Shane. Now, Shane, I've got a bone to pick with you. Anyway, what'll I have a drink first? What's this? Shane, what is this telling Octo about bloody Opus clips? Oh, it'd have to be 7 or 8 months ago, I reckon, that I first told him about that. Took no notice of me whatsoever. You come along and tell him, and it's the greatest thing since sliced eggs. He's a bugger. Yes. Julie, hi. Sorry, time difference caught out. Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, hang on. Let me have a look. 7:15-ish. Yeah, well, you'd be just getting ready to have your tea, wouldn't you? Yeah, you should be on the ball more, girl. Oh, Peachy. Thank you. I'll get down to that. Oh, I must be behind in the chat, am I? Quite a bit. Bea says, I need to redo my SKU. Do you sit there with your laptop open and write over the old SKU in each listing when you stock take? So, yes. So, for example, the jeans don't matter because the jeans all have their SKUs written on the bags of the jeans. So they're all in sequential order. So it doesn't matter which box they're in because they're all in the same, the right order. The books are the ones that actually need to have the new SKUs on them when I move those. If I move any of those around, I do try not to move them around. So instead, what I do with the books is, like, sometimes I'll move, if I take a few from the back of a row, for example, I'll actually take some of the ones from that same row from the front and actually push them through to the back. And then I've got the gap at the front. And then that's what I'll put new books in. And all I have to do then is I'll take those books out. I'll bring them over to the desk and I will actually make sure I change the B to an F from back to front, which I have at the end of my SKUs. And, do it that way. I did try doing it, having a laptop, sitting there open, but like it's quite hard because when you're working with the bookshelves, it makes it a little bit more hard. I mean, I guess if you had a little portable stand that you could put the laptop on, but there's kind of nowhere to sit it, and then you're constantly putting it down and picking it up as you're doing it. So I generally wait until there's a bit of room, and then I'll go and I know that I can then go and put, 3 or 4 books. I try very hard not to move my books. So I've done a major reskew twice with the books, and I won't do another one. So the first time I did it, I was kind of doing the width thing that I was talking about previously, where so every row has the same width book in it. So if I start that, so say there's 6-inch books in this row, so it doesn't matter whether it's hardcover or soft cover, as long as it's a 6-inch high, Octo, high book that I put on its side, and so they're all the same size, because that's where you save your room. And then in the next row, maybe I've got 7-inch books, and then in the next row, so on and so on. And so you've got those all, you can fit a lot more books in that way because you haven't got to allow a lot more for each row. So I can in effect get an extra row of books in each shelf by doing that, by making sure that each lot's only in there. And then all the really large books, they go all on the bottom shelves. But I put them in sideways because if you try to have them so the spines are facing forward, you'd only fit 3 piles, whereas by putting them sideways, I can get 6 piles. So I have to do it that way. I didn't. No, I don't want to do that. Lisa says, I nearly put you in timeout accidentally, Lisa, because I wasn't watching what I was doing. Lisa says, the Americans confer behind the lines and charge in together. Yeah, apparently. I see. You're talking about me behind my back, were you? Rob says, hey, Lee, I hope you're well. That's to Julie. Kafin says, even the sellers on Depop don't leave feedback after I've bought something. Yeah. And I mean, that's something that I always make sure I do, like once said, because I figure if you leave feedback for them, and I know some people are only just doing the stars, but I leave a comment with the hope they might give me a comment back. Doesn't always work, but, that's the hope. Liz says, yes, that's the plan for tomorrow. To get the photos and list them. Cool. Good job. Dave says, if you drop the price by 5%, eBay used to email watchers about the price drop. Yeah, they still do. And so some of the stuff that I've dropped prices on today with the clothing, they will all get notifications about that, which will be good and hopefully might bring in a few extra sales. Lee says, Rob had a big day. I almost skewed the entire CD collection. Well done. Well, when I say skew, I mean got them all into shelving alphabetically and been moving stuff around all day and dealing with buyers. Well, sounds like a productive day, Lee. That's got to be good. Lisa says, Octo, popping into support, getting ready for bed. Shane's getting ready for work. Love to hear Juju's take on things. She's lovely. Oh, thank you. You're a sweetheart. Rob says, Lee, awesome. Octo VHS, yeah. Lisa says, Op Shop, sincerely always sounds so classy, like honesty. It sounds dripping with brilliant treasures, not musty teas that smell like crusty old goss. That's right. They are. Our Op Shops are just so glamorous and nice. Oh, Peachy, thank you for that super sticker. Don't you love the colour? Like, I like the bright red colour too. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really do. Oh, thank you, Car Fund. Yes. Any donations to the Car Fund will be gratefully accepted, let me tell you, because that'll be where it's all going. That will definitely be where it's all going. Shane says, well, in my defence, Octo came to me. I have proof. I know he came to you. He came to you and asked you how you did your shorts. You know, I mean, I told him how to do shorts, but didn't take any notice of me. As usual, what's new? Lisa says it's frigid, GG, 12 minus 12 and thin snow, just witchy cold. Wow, I can't even believe it's minus 12. Gosh, that is cold, isn't it? Let me see how hot it is here still. After that, minus 12. I can't even imagine. Oh, well, no, I can't imagine that because it never gets to minus that sort of temperature around here. So it is still 25 degrees. Tomorrow it is going to be 34. So I have to look that up because I've got no idea. What is 25 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? So 77 degrees now. And then tomorrow it will be 34, which will be about 94. So, yeah, so it's quite warm. Maze, how are you, Mason? Are you good? That's good. What do you... Oh, yeah, you can stay up a bit longer. Stay up till 10:30. And then you probably should go to bed. Goodness gracious me. You'll sleep in. Are you going to sleep in the morning, or do you still get up early even when you stay up late? That is fun. Always fun when the kids still get up early, even though they've stayed up late and they're so tired. Lisa says, defend away, Shane. Yeah. Octo says, don't tell her that, Shane. I won't hear the end of it. Yeah, I know what's going on. I'm not silly. You think I am, but I'm not. Bayer says, yeah, it's the books I'm wrangling. Nuisance to reorganise, yeah. Really stick to that WIC thing because that has saved me so much room. Because I actually, I'm going to say, when I did the last books, big reorganisation, which, I can't remember how long ago, like maybe a month ago, I thought I was going to have to buy a new bookshelf because I was just out of room. And I had books that I'd listed on the floor, which I didn't want to get any more. And I thought, I'm just going to have to try and reorganise. So, because even, that much difference in each row, if you've got books of that much variance, by the time you get to the end of the row, that's another lot of books that you could fit in there. So, yeah, that's my advice anyway. Lisa says, GG, the black background looks quite sharply illuminating for you. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes. Well, you see, what's happened is because my overhead light, when I have that on, because the light bulb is one of those super bright ones that, like it's nearly like one that you put in a photo lamp because I wanted it nice and bright so I can read the tags on the clothes and stuff. But I wasn't thinking about doing the live streams. It just washes me out because it's right over my head. It's dreadful. So I have to turn that off because it's nighttime, so it's dark. And then I did that, but it was a bit dark the other night when I did it because I didn't have any other lighting. But I hustled around and I knew that I had bought like a circle LED light that you use for like doing podcasts and things that I bought when I bought my microphone. It came with a light. So I hunted around, and I also knew that the stand that the light came on was broken. So I found a little tripod to put it on, to screw it onto, and it's doing the job really well. And it's good because it's adjustable, so I can send it up and down and whatnot. Oh, God, what's going on again now? Shane says, sorry to Octo. Lisa says, Shane, poke that antagonist angle. Yeah, I know. I think they're in cahoots, actually. Sandra says, much prefer the heat to the cold. Yes, look, I do quite agree there. I can handle the heat. As long as I get a bit of breeze, and that's probably the worst part about, like, so if we do get these floods they're talking about, if it stays hot and humid and there's no breeze and you can't turn the air conditioner on. So my plan had been to buy because you can get fans that go on those batteries like, you have with the lights. And I was going to Bendigo the day my car broke down, and I was going there, and I had that on my list to buy. So I'm going to get on to my daughter, who will be here. No, I'm not sure. Not this weekend, next weekend maybe, or the weekend after. So I'm going to get on to her to go and get me one and bring it with her, and just in case, which will be good. Wendy, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, that's wonderful. Everybody will love that. Thank you very much. I am just, I'm like, I can't even try and explain to you guys like this sort of stuff because it not that I ever did it to get accolades or anything, but like I enjoy doing the content and making the content. But when you're doing something you love and then other people enjoy it and then they show appreciation for it, like it just makes you feel warm and fuzzy. I'm going to say it's the best way I can describe it. Lisa says the best lighting for girls over 40 is candlelight or broken light. Oh yeah. Well, they'll just have to put up with me wrinkles and all. I can't even use the whole, you can tick the box in and say, make me look a bit better. Gives you a little bit smoother complexion. I can't use that with my internet at night time because everyone else is using it. So not in my house, but, in the area, there's only so much internet bandwidth to go around. Lisa says, oh, Wendy, how kind and generous of you. It is kind and generous of you. Landshark Picker, hello. Yeah, well, Eve, good night. It's a night time here, so it's 10:27 here, but I'm guessing morning for you. Lisa, you doing okay? Yes, great. She's doing very well. Very well. Shane says, Soda City Flips, no one appreciates my content. Oh, they do so. They do so. 5:27 a.m. Oh, you're an early riser. Is that because it's so cold? Shane, you're a goof ass. Yes, you are. I guess you definitely are. I think I'm pretty sure I tried to make sure that I went through and ticked the notifications during the week. I'm hoping I've got all the ones, but because I miss lives when I don't have my notifications turned on, and I get buried in work and forget. Yeah, it's 30 here too, Craig, but 30 degrees Celsius, not 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's about 70, I'm going to say 80 degrees here at the moment. And tomorrow it's going to be about 94, 93, 94. And yeah, so a little bit different. So I don't know, 30, yeah, that's cold, isn't it still? Shane says 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. here, about to leave for work, so I'll be listening. Cool, excellent. So how far, have you got far to drive to work? You've got a bit of a drive, haven't you? This is blowing kisses in the wind. I need to have another drink because it's gotten this late and I haven't even cracked my second can yet, so I better finish drinking this one so I can mix the second one and do a little bit of ASMR for you with all the noises and stuff, I reckon. What do you reckon? I think that'd be a good idea. Hang on. Oh, I was going to do a big skull, but there was only a mouthful left in it, so yeah. Because as Octo will tell you that I live in Amish country, what he reckons is the Australian equivalent of Amish country. We're very backwards here. So, we don't buy mixed drinks, or pre-mixed drinks, I should say. So I have my trusty can of Pepsi in my little cooler. And then we just, this is what we locals call letting the can. A lot of you will already know this because you've seen me do this before on the odd occasion, some of you. So that's letting the can. Look, some people would need a little measurer to put that in their can, but as in one of my previous incarnations, I was a barmaid, so I'm still pretty good at pouring a shot, or maybe a double shot into my can. Hey, Vintage Bonnie, how are you? Morning, Gigi, or evening, night time. Yes, you forget the time difference. 3:23 a.m. in California. Wow. What are you doing? Thanks for the book information. Hope to be a superstar like you one day. I don't know about that. So, look, and I do have to say, anyone that was in the Discord the other night when we did the book call, yeah, I did a great job of recording it, which it did record it, except it only recorded my voice. It didn't record anyone else's voice. So it sounds it's totally ridiculous because there's big silences, and then all of a sudden I'm going, yep, and then I'll say something. So I am editing it so that it's not quite so ridiculous, and hopefully I'll get that up over the weekend so that anyone that missed that, because we talked about the item specifics for selling books, particularly vintage books. Because I reckon, there are some item specifics for vintage books that are probably quite important to put in for vintage books that you wouldn't worry about putting for a modern book. Besides which, with a modern book, you can just put in the bloody UPC code and you don't have to put in anything else because it puts everything in for you. So, yeah, I'm still loving my glass swizzle sticks or stirrers. I don't know, whatever. Does anybody else call them swizzle sticks? Shane says about half an hour with stopping by the store first. Oh, cool. Very good. Lisa says, have a splendid day, Shane. Buddy under 12 inches of woolen's calling. She's saying hello to Yvonne, to Bonnie. Wendy says, GG, I think you should start doing shots. Oh, that could be dangerous. Could be dangerous. Yeah, I like shots, but yeah. It depends because, pardon me, I could drink a lot of shots of the one thing and I'd be fine, but like if I mix them too much, then that might be a problem. Liz says, crack and run. I do like a drop of crack and run. Unfortunately, they don't stock. Unfortunately, they do not stock that at the supermarket here. And I did have a bottle earlier on, but yeah, after my surgery, I got a bottle and I drank it. Lisa says, GG, always making me want to go hit up the petrol beverage cooler at 6:30 a.m. and get a squirrely eye from the clerks. Yeah, that'd be funny. Hey. Hello. Hang on. How are you? Oh, no, I can't do that part. What did you type into me the other day perfectly and it let me get the accent? Johnny, I can't remember. Hello. Well, no, I can't do it. And good morning, everyone. Yeah, not morning here, but anyway, we'll go with that. Swizzle sticks here. Cool. So I wonder, is Swizzle Sticks more of a generational thing versus a geographical thing? Because I have got some vintage ones lying in my bag of cutlery, Rob, that are quite good, and they're they used to have the little things on the top of them that had advertising on them. Everyone's saying good morning to Johnny, Cajun Roots Reseller. Happy New Year's, Lisa. Yeah, Happy New Year's, everyone. Hashtag not Glyn. Not Glyn. Happy New Year to you, Johnny. Johnny Walker. I know Johnny Walker really well. Christian says, hello, I'm here. What's happening? What I miss? Everything. You missed the ants, the floods, the $900 books. What else did you miss? Yeah, that's about it. I reckon. I think. Yeah, that's probably about it. And just a load of other crap. And Octo being his usual self. And his shorts are going really well, so do watch them. Yes, you see Christian quite a bit, don't you, Johnny? Because he goes and pops over while he's doing his listing. Interesting thought there, Gigi. Is Swizzle Sticks generational or geographical? Yeah, I am interested to know. Oh, John Roberts. As much as me. Hi, all. As much as me. Pardon me. Yes, so, yeah, John Roberts. How'd you be? Are you cooking or the weather not too bad where you are? I made a cake, says Swizzle Sticks here. I'm vintage, 42 years old. Well, officially vintage, yes, because that's over 20, but yeah, you're not quite as vintage as I am, that's for sure. Christian says, hey, Cajun, good to see you here, mate. It is. Oh, dear. It's sticky, like all inside, where you have your arms bent and stuff. Very sticky, I have to say. And I'm hoping by the time I finish up that the ants haven't taken over my house, because that would be an absolute disaster. But who knows? I found some in the bathroom just before. They weren't there about half an hour prior, but they suddenly appeared. And I found them so where I do my packing, there's some counters that are under a window, and it's like quite a large window, and the windowsill's white, and they're crawling along the windowsill. So I reckon they must have the seal on the window perhaps mustn't be, because it's one of those aluminium sliding things. So I think it needs opening and shutting again. Or they're tiny enough that they can get through the bloody fly screen. That's the trouble. Terrible. Johnny says, I started my day at 2:12 a.m. this morning. Wow. And got all orders pulled and packed, as well as all invoice packed and sent out. My God. What time do you go to bed? If you're starting at 2 a.m, or you just get everything done and then you're able to do your lives and stuff, which for you is like early morning, isn't it? Like, yeah, it'd be morning for you. And then, because you're usually sort of finishing, like you sort of, start up as I'm sort of finishing, because I think you come on about midnight, don't you, here? Wow. Oh, no, here we go, John. So John's in the direction from me. I mean, he's quite a ways from me, but he's in the direction where our rain usually comes from. And there we go. Nice day today. Then we had 17 mil of rain in an hour. Yeah. So I got a notification today, John, to say that we're going to have flooding here. Or there's a chance of flooding. And then there's all the ants, you see. So I'm kind of thinking that I need to get prepared for... I did go out and make sure that I have got one downpipe that does come loose because I've got it going into a tank so I can water stuff in the garden. And, yeah, if you get, a bit of extra wind in the wrong direction, it will move it. So I went out before and made sure it was going the right way. It was still up where it's supposed to be. Lisa says, I made a cake. I'll see your 42 and raise you a little more. Yeah, me too. Me too. Oh, 7:30 p.m.-ish. Okay, all right. For you, yes, for you. Yes, I do. Yeah, cool. Liz, bloody ants. I wasn't looking this morning in field. Oh, no. Oh, goodness, yeah. They're shocking, aren't they? And they get into everything. Just, yeah. And I will go out. I'll probably go and do it before I go to bed. I was going to do it tomorrow, but I'll probably do it before I go to bed and just put the cat's food out because she likes to have a little munch during the night. Otherwise, she comes and annoys me. So I'll have to sit her dry food in a little dish of water, and then I do that with her wet food as well. And then the ants can't get into it because I can't expect her to eat it if the ants get it, and they're fast. They just appear out of nowhere. Johnny says, yes, when I go live at 8 a.m. Eastern after the show, I'm done for the day and get listing and pictures done, my drafts for more listing. Oh, very good. Well, you got it all worked out. That's good. That is good. Wow, what an early start. Lisa says, aha, see, I was right. Typed at the same time. Johnny says, yes, I was already in bed for their show last night. I was in bed by 6:45 p.m. last night. You'd have to be. You'd have to be ready for bed at that time. Wow. Oh, look, our own little Blake goes to bed very early because he gets up. It doesn't get up as early as you do, but he gets up like at 2 a.m. to 2 a.m. at 5 o'clock to go on his little fitness walks. And, yes, he's doing a very good job, except he's, gets a bit tired at night, so we get nothing out of him after about 8 o'clock. Might get the occasional message from him, but, yeah, nothing because he goes off to sleep and goes to bed. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's not me. I don't, I'm more of a night owl. Look, I do say, like about 11 o'clock, I start to feel myself getting tired, but I generally probably wouldn't go to bed before midnight. I mean, yeah, depends. I mean, I'll go to bed and watch TV for a while, generally. And, surprisingly watch some murder mystery shows and true crime. They're great to send you to sleep. I've been watching the last couple of days. I watched season 3 of The Mandalorian because I missed that. I hadn't caught up on that for a while because I had lots of other things I was watching. But yeah, I had to catch up on that. And then I think I'm going to watch the Boba Fett one, maybe on Disney. But yeah, if anyone's got any good recommendations of some decent crime, detective mystery type stuff or true crime stuff, do give it to me because I'm always on the lookout for something new to watch. Cathan says, Cathan says, my cat is a prick as well, running up and down the hallway at 8 a.m. full speed till I get up and feed him. Oh, absolutely. So my cat, she will come and sit on me, like she comes into the bedroom and gets up on the bed and literally will sit here until I get up and feed her. And then if I don't get up after a certain length of time, she'll turn around so I can pat her, and then I'll stop patting her after a while, and then she'll turn her body around so that her tail's facing my face, and she'll be like this with her tail. Yep. Sandra says, I'm a morning person, just work nights. Yeah, wrong way around, Sandra. Wrong job for a morning person. Lisa says, we're glad you're a night owl, GG, so you come visit us over here. Exactly. Exactly. It works. Case file podcast. Okay. Is that what it's called? Case file? Forest Finds Online. That's Christian. It says, don't. Oh, yeah, like that was brilliant. That was really good. I watched that. That was very good, I have to say. That has been one of my favourites too. Yeah, very well done. Very well done. Peachy says, I just like the Aussie crime shows. Okay. Fire investigators and crime investigation. Is that a new show, Peachy? Just wondering if that is, because, yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Forensic, yes. Okay. Lisa says, Kafen, they are international in that maniacal trait. Yeah, aren't they? Yeah. They act all nice and sweet, and then, but doing terrible things. Yes, forensic was what he meant. Yes, case file. Okay, I'll check that out. Is that an Aussie one or is that an international one? Not that it bothers me. I'm just wondering for when I'm looking for it. Sandra says, I watched a good New Zealand crime investigation on YouTube today. Oh, okay. You'll have to make sure you let me know what it is. Put it in the murder section in the Discord. Give me the link. Would be good. Lawrence Blake, hello. He is blinking his eyes pink with a pink heart a couple of times. Good to have you with us. And then we have, where are you from, Lawrence? Do tell. Christian says, I like cult crime docos. So do I. Indeed, I do. Yes, the host is from Melbourne in the one he said, which is good. Yes, I have watched Underbelly. Kafen, I have to say, that was sort of my era back in the day. Well, not that I know those people personally, but, I know of them because that was sort of my time around then. So, yeah. Casey Anthony's story is another one. That's, that was a weird one. I listened to, I've actually been listening to Annie Elise is her name on, she has a podcast. And yeah, I've been listening to a couple of ones, but they've been a bit, couple of ones have been a bit unsettling that I've listened to the last couple of days. And the other one is one called Lights Out. And so they're podcasts, so they're available through wherever you get podcasts from, but they are also on YouTube. Like they have a video version on YouTube, which is good because, I kind of like having that video going in the background. Jen says, Agatha Christie is good. Yes, very good. So watched I watched a couple of new remakes of stuff of hers of late. But I did just watch a new detective type one on Disney, but it was quite a different take. Like it's a young, like in her 20s, and she's like a amateur sleuth, and yeah, but how she does stuff is a lot with technology, so it's coming at it from a very different angle, but it's all sort of, it's got that same feel of Agatha Christie, if that makes sense. Lawrence says he's in the US, just started selling on eBay again after a 10-year break. Whoa, 10-year break. Wow. Oh, the platform would have changed a bit in that length of time. I can't speak for that because I wasn't selling on eBay 10 years ago, but I'd imagine it would certainly have be a little bit different. Agatha Raisin. Yes, that's quite funny, isn't it? Yes, I don't mind Agatha Raisin. And the other one,
Let me think. This Madame Blanc is not a bad one on Prime. And yeah, there's a few good ones on Prime, and I don't know, because some of them are on Prime, some of them are on Paramount, some of them are on BritBox. I mean, I do say the Brits probably do the best fictional crime stuff. They make the best fictional crime shows. Although, I will say one thing, because when you think about it, now take Midsummer Murders, for example. How many murders there were in each show, and I used to say, like, they were always set in these tiny little villages. Honestly, in Midsummer County, or wherever the hell that Midsummer Murders is, you know, the fictional place is supposed to be, they could not possibly have kept making shows till season 20, whatever, however many there were, because everybody would have been dead based on the rate that they were murdering each week. Well, that's my theory anyway. Taven said Broadchurch. Yes, that was a good one. Yep, good crime drama show. Not based on a true story, no, but it was very good. Very good. Peachy says people don't understand the difference between true crime and crime shows. Why don't they? It's easy. Christian says, I enjoy crime stories from the dark web. Ooh, the dark web. Do you mean getting your crime stories off the dark web, or do you mean crime stories about stuff that happens on the dark web? You are a much darker person than I realised, Christian. Lisa says, I like that sleuth-type show more along the lines of Miss Fisher's. Yes, she's very good. Give me history and whodunit. Yes. Keep the real gore. I've done my nursing with cadavers. Done. Yeah, true. True. Where was I going to go with that? Oh, I was just going to say something then. Now I can't remember what it was. All right, I'll think about that. Oh, that was something that was good. Sandra said, ordered something on eBay today. Apparently they are sending via Sendle. Couldn't you have asked them? Oh, I suppose they wanted extra to send it through Australia Post. Peachy says, Deadly Women was an awesome series too on YouTube. I've seen a Deadly Women series on, I'm going to say one of the Prime Paramount sort of channels in that vicinity. Haven't seen one on YouTube though. I'll have to have a look at that. Liz says the Aussie Mystery Hour is a pretty good podcast from a few years ago. Yeah, and look, there's one also that I have to, and I'll have to think of the name of it. If I remember, I'll put a link in the Discord, and I'll remember to tell you next week. So there is an actual audio podcast, and it's this guy and his father. And the guy wrote a book about his father, and his father actually was a policeman back in the day. But I'll tell you what, his father, they do the podcast together, and they are so funny, but like some of the stories are just incredible. But yeah, really funny, and also, unbelievable. Lisa says, oh my God. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Gigi, I said the same thing about Midsummer Murders. 25 years, 1/3 of the population would have been done for. Yeah, I know. Well, they were all such tiny little villages. So I know what I was going to say. So I've been writing a list of valuable traits to have if you're going to be a reseller. And I've been coming across a few things. And I think the crime thing is another thing. I think a lot of resellers that I talk to seem to either like true crime or crime stuff. Some prefer the fictional stuff. So, yeah, it's a bit of a worry, isn't it, really? So I think a lot of us have ADHD, and also a lot of us like true crime. And, I'm going to write a list, because I reckon we'll be able to really weed out new resellers that come in. We'll give them a quiz and say, do you like crime? Do you love crime podcasts and shows and blah? And then, got any traits of, we can sort of give them a tick box of ADHD sort of symptoms or traits. I'm going to call them traits because ADHD, you don't actually have symptoms, I don't think anyway. It's just how we are. And so, I reckon. And then if they, book just slid down. And then if they can't tick, the right things, then we'll just say to them, I'm sorry, but you are not suited to be a reseller. Goodbye. That's what I reckon. Taven said, I was listening to some hackers talking about what they stumbled upon in the dark web. It's pretty horrific what humans are capable of, isn't it? Yeah. Look, the dark web's one of those things. So back in the day when I was a DVD pirate, I was pretty tempted to go looking, but it's one of those things, you can want to go look, but you might not like what you find. And I figured, so I finished up. I didn't go looking, exploring the dark web. I didn't want to get myself down at the rabbit hole because I knew that there would be things that I wished I hadn't seen. And so I just figured best not. Yeah. So I didn't. Sandra says, $11 plus to send less than 100 grams. Yeah, if it's a parcel. Mm-hmm. Well, it would be because the minute they stick it in as a parcel, depending on what shape it is, because if it's not like a letter and they can't send it as a letter, they've got no choice because you're looking at $10.70. Lisa says, and that's speaking for like 1/3 of like the whole upper of England. Exactly. Yeah. It just used to amaze me. Peachy says, as an ex-police officer, it's funny when I see senior sergeants I work with on the TV. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know that I realised that you were. Did I know that you were an ex-policeman? I don't think so. That's a bit of a change, isn't it? Going from being a policeman to teaching. I suppose you're still dealing with unruly kids. Same thing. Except you're trying to stop them in their tracks as kids. Bayer says, loose units. Oh, that's it. Loose units. That's the one. Yep, the father-son podcast. That's it. Highly recommend Loose Units. Go and check it out because it's really good. And they're so funny. Because I have them on my phone. And you don't sort of think of the name. Like you see it all the time, but you're not saying it. Peachy says Crimes That Shook Australia was good too. Yes, I have seen that one too. Not too many I haven't seen. That's what happens when you're my age. You've watched a lot. Christian says, wow, from police officer to thrifter Peachy. What a journey. True. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, John Roberts, you're right. You are correct. We are detectives. You could even say we are sleuthy. Yes. And I guess you are right because of what we do for a living. We are kind of like detectives, aren't we? I like that. I Made a Cake says, I believe that mothers with young children are the biggest consumers of true crime. My anecdote. I started watching this stuff when I had my daughter. Scary stuff, yeah. Yeah, I guess I leant more into when I had my kids. I probably stopped watching more horror movies and probably started to get more into the true crime thing then. But my mum was mad about true crime. And so, look, I thank God for Midsummer Murders and all those things, especially in her later days, because she never used to sleep. And she'd be awake all night and she'd, if I wasn't, she would get up and think it was the middle of the day or it was morning time and she'd get up and start to get dressed and I'd have to go up and put her back to bed. And, I didn't get much sleep myself there for a bit. So in the end, I got a TV and put it in her room and it was good. But then at the time, I had Netflix and you know how after so many episodes, it would actually stop and ask you, are you still watching? Next thing I'd hear, Leanne, the TV's not playing anymore. And I thought I'd have to get myself out of bed and go and fix it. Anyway, I finally worked out I needed to get on the computer onto Netflix and log in, and I could actually change that so that it would just keep playing. And so, and like one of her favorite shows is like that Touched by an Angel, is it? I think with Michael Landon in it. She loved that sort of thing, and she loved Little House on the Prairie. And there are a few of those around on the live streaming that I found. And so she watched a lot of those, and she watched, I reckon she must have gone through all the Midsummer Murders 2 or 3 times over the space of 12 months. Oh, thank God for them, because that was the way I got sleep. Lisa says, well, I've definitely observed the disproportionate number of us that are ADHD, and the crime sleuthy thing, strangely, does go into that too. Hadn't thought about that till now. Yes. Well, I noticed it because Octo said something about it in the podcast, like in our little chat that we have about the podcast, and then like it turned out that was. It might have been either after we'd finished recording one day or before, and so that was 3 out of 3. And I thought, 3 out of 3, there's something there. So I asked about it in the Discord that night, and there were more people that said that they liked it. So I began to think about it. I reckon it might be a thing. Sandra says, 5 packets of Fowler's cellophane jam jar covers. Yeah, I reckon they could have actually posted that as a letter, couldn't they? Oh, goodness. Was that just it wasn't a big seller, was it? Or is it just a, like a you and I type, seller? Because, yeah, that's a bit of a rip-off, really, isn't it? Christian says, you into paranormal? Absolutely. Oh, God, I love a bit of paranormal stuff. Yes, give me some poltergeists anytime. It's excellent. And like I know Octo's favourite place when he went to the US at one stage was going to Sleepy Hollow, like all that sort of stuff. And, oh, yes, witches and witchcraft and paranormal is just, yeah, super, 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 I reckon. Well, it is 11 o'clock, and I reckon that's about it. It is so hot. Do you think it is time, I reckon, to finish up? What do you reckon? Sandra says, yes, thinking about selling them myself now. Exactly. Yeah, so so how much did they actually cost you? Yeah, it is still hot. Well, I've still got the air conditioner on. Haven't even looked like turning it off. Finish off the comments quickly before I go. I'm always hot. I'm hot to trot, Caven. You should have known about that. Lisa says, Midsummer Murders runs on a channel on my TV 24/7, looping through the whole 25 years. Oh, wow. I think I've been living the same day for 2 years with only one show. That'd be a bit like Groundhog Day, wouldn't it? Over and over and over again. Christian says, good night, Gigi. Good night, Christian. Good night, Peachy. Good night, Graham. Good night, boys and girls. And I thank you very much for joining me. I thank you all for your wonderful support. Wendy says, don't forget to give Gigi a like, a thumbs up would be good. Thank you. And Anthony says, night, Gigi. Good. If you're still up, boys, Oliver, Mason, Ashton, get to bed. I hope you're not still up, because you should actually be in bed. But I am off now, and I thank you very much for spending Friday night with me. And I will see you all tomorrow. I'm going to try and do this without moving my... I couldn't do it. I was trying to get it